Hey, what's up guys? Alan here with EatSleepTrade.net. Going to be bringing you guys the swing trading watch list and a market update for the week of June 13th, 2016. We are also going to take a look at how we can scan for some hot stocks using Finviz.com. Alright, first up, let's take a look at the SPX here. You guys could see Friday there was a pretty decent sized sell-off going on. We did break down below that 2100 area, which is something I really wanted to see hold. The one good thing it does have going for right now is our 20-day moving average has crossed above the 50-day moving average, but it still needs to maintain that. As you can see, it is just barely above it, so that could very easily roll back over and change trend direction right now. Also, we have this 2075 support area, so that'll be a pretty major area to watch as well. And bullish wise, I'd like to see us obviously get back above this 2100 area. So let's see if going into next week we can hold our moving averages. Alright guys, let's take a look at how we can scan for stocks and add them to our swing trading watch list. So the first thing we need to do is open up a web browser, and we are going to go to finviz.com, finviz.com. That is a free website. It doesn't cost you anything to use. And this is the home page. You've got a couple of the major markets here up at the top, and then you have a couple top gainers for the day, stocks that made new highs, stocks that traded unusual volume, then the top losers, new lows, most volatile, so on and so forth, and a bunch of other stuff that you can take a look at. But right now we're going to go up to the top here where it says home, news, screener, maps, groups, and we are going to go to groups so we could take a look at sector performance. So let's scroll down a little bit and take a look at a 1 week to 6 month performance here. And first thing I noticed right off the bat is basic materials is number 1, number 2, number 1, and number 2. So it is actually the strongest performing sector overall right now. So that's going to be one we're going to be interested in. And let's see if we see anything else that looks decent here. Everything else is pretty even. So that's the one I see right now that stands out the most. So let's see if we can try to find a couple of chart setups in the basic materials sector. So we're going to jump over to the stock screener here up at the top again, and we're going to come over to all so we can see everything. First step, we're going to go ahead and change our market cap to a small cap stock. I'm going to go ahead and change price to under $30. Average volume, we're going to go over 500K. You can adjust this depending on the volume you need or the volume that's currently trading in the market. If I don't get enough stocks to scan through, then I will lower the volume requirement. If I get too many stocks to scan through, then I increase the volume requirement. So average volume is probably the one thing on this screen that you can adjust as needed. Relative volume, I like to look for stocks that are trading over 1.5. This lets me know that there's new people coming in and buying the stock, and it's got new attention, whether that be from a news or some type of catalyst. And then the last thing, we'll just put USA stocks on because I feel like it filters out a lot of the junk. Secondly, and then let's come up to sector, and we'll put our basic materials filter on there because that was the strongest sector that we found. And let's take a look at a couple charts here. I like to use TNA in case I want to see something over here. First one I see here is CLF, and we're going to add that one to the list. You can see it's been trading a lot of big relative volume, making some pretty large swings, pulling back a little bit here, so we'll pull that up on Fidelity and check it out closer up. CRC doesn't look too good here, looks like it's breaking down. CWI, 3 red days, could bounce, but not really interested in a bounce play like that. FMSA looks really good here, putting in a nice flag, so definitely we'll check that one out. GSM also again looks like it's selling off pretty good, breaking down through support here on this higher low. HCLP just broke out over this resistance area, looks like around about 9, and now forming a little bit of flag. Got good relative volume, so we'll definitely put that one on the list here. NGL looks a little bit overextended, so we'll go ahead and leave that one off the list. Okay, so right there we got three or four charts right there to take a look at, and then I'm going to go ahead and take off the filter. Those 3 or 4 that we just found kind of have priority right now. Those are going to be the strongest sector and strong stocks that have a good chart setup or a good risk reward if volume comes into it and it starts breaking out over a resistance area. So let's see if we can find any other charts here that aren't within the basic materials sector. Let's take a look at GAL here. Looks like we just broke above or gap above this pretty strong 185 resistance, and it's kind of pulled back a little bit right now, so that looks like one I want to take a look at. And you can see, guys, there's only 28 stocks that you have to look at right here, and you can find some pretty decent quality setups. You run this scan every day and you create a watch list for yourself, which we'll look at that here in a second. See if there's anything else we can pull up. Here's a pretty recent, looks like IPO, breaking out of resistance as well, and looks like it's making a pretty decent move. Pretty good volume. OLLI, we'll go ahead and take a look at that one as well. ROVI, kind of breaking down on that wedge. We'll pull that one up and take a look at it. Okay, so that's it. So we scanned through everything, so not that long. You don't need to spend 5 hours looking through charts to find a couple that you can put on a watch list that are potentially strong, that are mostly all trending up, moving in the right direction. And then what I do from there is I'll go ahead and take them on over back at Fidelity and put them in. So we'll look at FMSA. And you can see the chart here, 20-day and 50-day moving averages moving just like you want them. Nice little pullback here. So if we can break out of this pennant and you start seeing a move back up towards $8, you know, that gives you a good risk reward based off these lows for a move back up if volume comes in. If it doesn't, maybe it continues to consolidate until it catches up to your 20-day moving average. Who knows? But essentially, I will add this to my watch list up here on the top right, which is all my swing trading stocks. And I'll keep it on watch till either it puts in a top and starts breaking back down and the moving averages roll over and the 20 crosses back down below the 50 and it starts to look bearish. But you keep it on watch for as long as the stock is bullish to see how many times it can set up for you, and you look for those chart patterns, or you look for good risk reward pullbacks to moving averages or things like that to set yourself up for a good buy. So let's take a look at CLF. It's actually putting in a pretty nice little cup and handle here. So you can see if we can get back above 550 here, that can get pretty interesting. Maybe retest these highs. It's traded some pretty good volume, pretty big sell-off, so it's quite volatile. So you definitely don't want to get caught buying a breakout here and get stuck in a sell-off. So you need to use, tight stops and again a proper entry that sets your risk at a proper area. We're not losing too much based off a reward that is possible, but again may not ever come. You can see our 20 days trying to cross above the 50, so I like this chart. We're going to put it on watch, and again that comes out of a strong sector, strong stock, so it has high potential. Nothing's guaranteed, but again high potential. GAL, I like this stock here as well. This is I believe biotech, and you can see how it gapped up out of this 180 resistance area and is now testing up here around 230s for a high. It's pulled back here for a couple days, kind of rounding up, putting in a lot of hammer candles down here on the bottom. So we'll see if we maybe see a gap fill back down towards 180, or maybe move back up towards 230. Who knows on this one? But it's traded some big volume not too long ago, so we'll just kind of keep it on the watch list and see if any type of chart formation setups. Maybe you come up here, test 230, get a pullback, and then break out of that, and signal a new move higher. So we'll put that one on watch. HCLP, again, that one comes out of our basic materials sector, so strong sector, strong stock. Increase your odds, stack as many odds as you can on your side. And you can see this is just kind of has a nice little flag set up on it, so you just watch it, see if we can break out over these prior highs, look for good volume, or even if it wants to consolidate for a little while as it catches up to this 20-day moving average, and then you start looking for an area to enter in then. Let's take a look at FSM. Testing up here now at this 670 resistance area again. Hasn't been able to get back above that. You can see it's caught up with its 20-day moving average, or gotten back above its 20-day moving average. So something that you want to see hold right there. Look for that breakthrough 670 next week with volume for a possible move higher on this one. Let's take a look at OLLI. You can see it's got a pretty good trend here that has been holding, but it is definitely testing it now after putting in this high, possibly putting in a lower high right now. You can see the 20 days dipped down below the 50-day moving average, so not really a good sign. But at the same time, it is holding the trend. So start to look, maybe you get a nice rounding bottom coming off this trend line and start getting back up to these highs right here around 2650 or so. Alright, let's take a look at ROVI. So you can see here this one has a pretty obvious downtrend and a little kind of head and shoulders pattern that also formed here, neckline that just broke down. And that support now turning to resistance and moving averages in the wrong direction. So this stock is basically bearish in all terms. Except for the simple fact that it, for whatever reason, trade a little bit of high relative volume. That could just be shorts covering as we reach this breakdown. Could be a number of things could set it up. This could have a large short ratio, and could be set up maybe for a squeeze back up to this 1730 or 1720 area or somewhere around there. So I'm just going to put it on watch just because it did trade that bigger volume. Maybe it starts to find a bottom here and you see a possible trend reversal play. And that is going to be it for the stocks for this week. So then we come up here, we edit the watch list, and we add them all in here. As you can see, I did FMSA, CLF, GALE, so on and so forth. Apply those, and now this creates a fairly strong watch list of stocks that I can pull up at any moment to take a look at and see what they're doing. As you can see on Trill, had this nice huge breakout and run to 13. Since sold off quite a bit, actually broke through all of its moving averages, so pretty big selling pressure going on right there. But we'll keep it on watch because it's a pretty good mover. TCK, that's been on our watch list for quite some time. Actually looked like it was going to break down right here as the moving averages came down, but they never crossed, and next thing you know, boom, huge breakout, move back up to highs around 1270. So the stock remains bullish, and it's actually in a nice flag right now and catching support on prior resistance. So pretty interesting chart in itself right there, QLGC. So we always have stocks to look at and charts to follow. You can see QLGC still holding that uptrend line, still hasn't broken through that 14 area. Start to get a move back up towards 14. Still a good chart setup right there if it doesn't break down and it holds that trend. So that's what we do. I add those stocks to this watch list, and I'll watch them through next week or the next week after that until they either break a trend and fail, or until they give me a setup that offers a good risk reward, or a familiar chart pattern that comes through and has good volume and follow through on a breakout and gives you that type of an entry. And that's it, guys. So that's how we do it. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for future videos. Also, check out the website, eatsleeptrade.net. You can check out a lot of new content that we have on there, and some pretty good stuff for people who are just learning how to trade. So please check that out. Leave feedback on there. Let me know what you guys think. You could follow us on Twitter, Facebook, so you can stay up to date on all the stocks that we're watching and trading. Also, guys, don't forget to subscribe on the website so that way you can get our weekly watch list and market updates sent directly to your emails. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Good luck into next week, and I'll see you in the next video.